ShartimusPrime, ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it, taking bad hits, taking bad shit. Subscribe.
Scrapper, same thing, right in the butt. Hey, what's up, you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another review on The Walking Dead. This is volume 2 right here, and it's blue for April's Autism Awareness Month. I don't know, but yeah, this is my second review on The Walking Dead, volume 2. We have a different artist right here, again, of course, written by Robert Kirkman, and here we have Charlie Adler. And the cover artist is Tony Moore, who's the original artist. See all the flies and stuff? I like how he does the flies and everything. Now the artwork in here is a little bit different, but it's not bad. I like it. Everybody kind of has a little bit of an almond eye kind of look to it, but that's the only thing I noticed. You know, not a major difference. I think Tony Moore's artwork, like, people kind of looked a little bit more wide-eyed and animated, but Charlie Adler's artwork is very cool. It's realistic. I mean, just to show you a little bit, you know, a decent picture of Rick right here. So you can see that they kind of have a little bit more of a realistic look. There's Carl. So I like it a lot. This book is, to me, this is actually the real book 1 of The Walking Dead. This is where it really starts. One defining thing about it is that they meet a bunch of new characters. One comparison to, oh, spoilers, I gotta forget, because spoiler alert. Again, like I said, I'm doing these reviews for people that have read the book and for people that have watched the TV show but don't feel like reading the book, that are interested in the book but don't feel like reading it, even though they really should, because it is amazing. This is my favorite book. When meeting new people in The Walking Dead, there seems to be kind of like a light-hearted energy there. People seem to be really happy to meet new people that are alive, which totally makes sense in a zombie apocalypse. Like, oh crap, a person! Like, oh yeah, oh okay, they seem cool. You know, they seem to fill each other out. But for the most part, the feeling out there is like, oh cool, another person. And that's the kind of feeling I get with the book that I don't necessarily feel in the TV show. So that's just one thing I want to point out. I just want to kind of give a summary of the story. But actually here, let me go through the cast of characters again really quick. I have Rick. There's Alan right behind him. Carl. Hey, there's Alan again. We have Lorri. Ooh, she spit on the grave of Shane. There's Dale. There's Andrea. Ooh, getting it on with old man. Glenn. And we have our new characters, Tyreese. There's Julie and Chris. Carol and Sophia, and there's Tyreese. So the thing between Tyreese and Carol, you know, starts to develop. Donna, Alan's wife. The twin boys, Alan and Donna's kids. Another new character, Otis. Otis's girlfriend, Patricia. And there's Herschel and his kids. Lacey, the oldest daughter. Arnold, the oldest son. Maggie, the youngest daughter. The youngest son, Billy. And then the two twin girls. I don't know if they're actually twin, but the two youngest girls. And just like my favorite action figures, they are a Build-A-Picture. See? Instead of Build-A-Figure, Build-A-Picture. So you could take book 1 and go ahead and connect it right there, and they just bleed on through. So I'll keep showing these as they go on through. Oh, who signed that one? Robert Kirkman. So that kind of jumped us ahead of the story. So you see that, you know, they do go to Herschel's farm and everything. But starting at the beginning of the book, starts out with Shane and Lorri doing it, which is kind of a trip. It's kind of, you get to see how Shane was a little bit more, you know, persuasive and getting that whole thing rolling. And then it goes back into, you know, present time, and now that Rick, you know, there's no more Shane, so nobody's there to keep them from trying to move on like how Rick wants to do. They hit the road and everything, and then it's kind of neat because another comparison with the book is that at this point they see Rick as the leader. Everybody else, I think Glenn has a talk with him saying like, you know, you're the one that we trust, so, you know, we're kind of putting you as leader here. As opposed to the TV show where, you know, after Herschel's farm and everything, it's like, Rick is like, this is no longer a democracy. You know, like this. So that's my impersonation of English dude. So that's how that goes down, which I like a little bit more so than the TV show, because I love the TV show, don't get me wrong, but obviously love the book more. Now they drive out, and on the road they find Tyreese, Julie, and Chris. Tyreese being a big black dude, Julie being his daughter, who's a teenager, and Chris being Julie's boyfriend, who's kind of a creepy, geeky white kid. So there's those three come into play. We also hear about Lorri being pregnant, and she confesses that she tells Rick about that, and then Rick tells everybody else about it, and Dale is the only one who kind of knows what's up. So very much like in the TV show, Dale's kind of figured out what was going on with Shane and everything. And then as they drive down, they find the Wilshire Estates. And it's basically like this, this gated community. Looks great. Now, you have to keep in mind, just like in the cover, there's a lot of snow going on, all right? And that's very important because it plays a factor in the zombies being able to move around, which totally makes sense. And they explain it in the book that, because their blood isn't really circulating, they don't really, they kind of freeze up a little bit with, with the cold. And so they find this Wilshire Estates. They run into a couple of zombies. They all stay in one house. They're all stoked. They all get a good night's sleep. They're talking about the next day, how they're going to go pick out their own houses, and it's going to be awesome. There's this really cool thing here that's just actually terrifying. This is what the Wilshire Estates look like right there. And there's this sign right here that's covered in snow. And so they go in, they help themselves to it. And, oh, that's another thing I wanted to mention, too, is Dale and Andrea are full-on doing it. Yeah. So you don't really see that in the comics so much. But, the next day, they show this thing of the sign. It says, "All dead, do not enter." They've been sleeping in there, man. And the sign's getting defrosted. All those other zombies are getting defrosted, too, man. So they wake up the next day, they go trying to find everything and find the new houses and stuff, and sure enough, the zombies attack. Oh, there's this glorious part right here. Now, the person who walked in on Dale and Andrea is Donna, the mother of the twins, and she's a big gossip woman, so it's like shortly after that, she's the first victim, and she gets bit right in the eyebrow, man. Oh, I don't know, I got hella stoked off of that. I was like, oh, that's nasty. Zombie bite in the face like that is just so cool to me, man. I just thought that was great. Husband Alan, he goes crazy and he fires a gun, and it just wakes up all the zombies in this gated community. And they gotta cut out, man. So, they book it and everything. I guess that kind of replaced the CDC a little bit in the TV show. So then they have to go move on. They stop. They go hunting and stuff. And then you have the whole thing where Otis shoots Carl. Very much like the book, except Otis isn't a big fat guy. He's more of like a dopey kind of guy. And it follows the story of the TV show, very similar kind of thing where, they have to rush Carl, and Otis knows that Herschel could help him. And they go to the farm and everything, and Herschel's got the same kind of attitude, like, hey, you guys could stay here until Carl gets fixed, but after that, you gotta go. And then what's very interesting was that they have the barn full of the zombies and stuff too. But the funny thing about this, and it makes me like Rick a bit more, is that immediately Herschel tells Rick about the zombies just chilling in the barn, and like Rick's response immediately is like, "What? You keep those things there? You guys sleep right over there, and you keep those things there? Man, they're dead." And he gets into the argument with Herschel right away. Unlike the TV show where, Rick's a lot more passive and everything. Like, Rick just jumps into it like, "Man, you're fucking crazy, man. What are you doing?" Oh, that's another thing, is that, in these books they cuss a lot. So he kind of, they really get in, they cuss at each other and they get into it and all this stuff. They settle down and everything, and Maggie and Glenn, their relationship comes into fruition. I mean, it starts out as just a fling, which is really cool because, she's like, "Hey, you want to fuck?" He's like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, I'll fuck you," and then they get to it. But eventually, they kind of fall, they fall in love and all that. And then Chris and Julie are alone, and they keep talking about how oh yeah, we have to find the right time to do it. And, you know, like, what are these kids up to? And I guess, oh yeah, when they're at the Wilshire estate and the zombies were attacking, Julie and Chris were doing it, and Tyreese sees his daughter getting it on with it. Everybody's naked in the bedroom, and Tyreese's like, oh my god, like, oh, get your clothes on, we gotta get out of here. So you already know, like when Chris and Julie are alone and they're talking about we have to fight in the right time to do it, they're not talking about, you know, Pop and Julie's cherry. They're talking about something else, and this creepy white kid, man, he's just creepy. So, you know, you don't know what's really going on. And then eventually, so you have the scene with the barn, and Herschel finds a zombie, or they find a zombie, and Herschel shows Rick his method. Look, this is how I do it. I'm not going to shoot him. This is how we put the zombie in there. And he's got his whole wrestle grip and everything, and they start to pull him in there, and sure enough, you know, thing breaks down and zombies attack, and Herschel's even yelling at, like, the brother, oh, Sean, don't eat your brother, like, no, and there's a couple of casualties there. There's, you know, the two oldest get killed and everything, and yeah, and you know, Rick saves their asses and stuff, and you know, he wants to move in. I thought this was really. So yeah, they have this very cool scene of, you know, people getting eaten, and oh, this is Herschel's oldest daughter getting eaten by hella zombies. So his son, he loses a son and a daughter. He loses one of each in this whole thing, and you know, while this is going on, Herschel actually, you know, kind of mans up and shoots him. So that's, you know, Herschel doing some of the killing right there, and he just quickly learns that, okay, you know, they're not zombies, or they're not people, they're not sick, and they really are zombies and everything. And they get into an argument. Rick really wants to stay and everything, and Herschel's saying no. Herschel kind of freaks out to the point where he pulls a gun to Rick, and you know, then he calms down and puts the gun down. You see Carl get his gun ready and everything, because he shot someone that, when, you know, he shot Shane, who's gonna, you know, threatened to kill Rick before, so he would have done it. And yeah, so you know, after that, after he pulled the gun on him, Rick's like, fine, we'll just leave, forget this. Glenn, he stays though. He's in love with Maggie. I mean, he got himself some pussy, so, you know, yeah, cool guys call it pussy. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? But yeah, and then they leave, and boom, they find the prison. And that's the prison right there. It's got some walkers in it and stuff, but that's it. And you got this, you know, big page right here of work. You know, it's perfect. We're at home. Look how happy he is. That's the other thing, is everyone's really, really scruffy. And so that's that. Moves on to the prison, which, you know, we're going to be at the prison for many books. I think for at least like the next 5 books or something, or maybe 7 books. And they stay at the prison for a long time. So, yeah, that's my review. I really like this book a lot. This one I like because it really does feel like the first volume as opposed to the real volume 1. Volume 1 is an introduction, and you kind of get this feeling that Kirkman really wanted to pack a lot of things in there. But by the time you get through this, which is issue 7, I think it's 7 through 12 or something like that, you know, you really get, yeah, 7 through 12, you feel like the pace of the show move on. So, yeah, that's that. Sorry this video is so long. I love The Walking Dead. I could talk about The Walking Dead forever. So, hope you guys enjoyed my review. And please read this stuff. It is the best. Alright, I'll catch you guys later. And that's my phone. Goodbye.
Oh, that's Shartimus. He is so awesome. But now what should I do on the internets?
You go to BKBN.net! Here, let me show you, man! Big Kids Big News is #1 source for geek news, reviews, toys, comics, movies, cartoons, video games, and more! Next time you're done watching my videos, where are you going?
BKBN.net.
Where